Hey guys, Cool Bill here from Motorhead Men. So I'm going to do a build series because in the last 30 years, I've built a lot of cars, and I'm going to go out and some of the guys I've built cars for, we've remained friends, and I'm going to go out and talk with some of these cars I built because I love looking back at what's happened with the cars, where they've gone and where I went wrong with the cars. You know, when you're doing a restoration, shit goes wrong, especially when you're doing it from the 90s because you couldn't get the panels and stuff that you get today. But anyway, in this build series, the first one up is going to be Larry's 69 Chevelle. A couple months ago, Larry took delivery on the car. We did an LS3 swap in it, but there's a lot of things that happened before that LS3 swap. So we're going to go into some of you guys, this might be blah, 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 but I love telling the story of the man's passion to build that car. So I got my cheat sheet so I get things right. So let's get started. Mr. Larry's a colleague. I've known the man close to probably 14, 15 years. And I was building a 71 Cuda, a purple car for a man in Canada. Flash a few pictures of that. But anyway, Larry came up here. I needed help one day. I'm a one-man shop. I have a few helpers that show up now and then. And Larry came to help me build the 440 motor for that car. And ever since then, he had an itch. Coming up here and seeing all the cars and stuff, he got the itch back to build another car. So Mr. Larry started searching for a car, and he searched the entire country trying to find a 69 Chevelle, the one that reached out to him. Finally, after 4 or 5 months, you know, he showed me the car. It was over in Baltimore. He finally pulled the trigger and bought one over in Baltimore. Of course, it was all primered up, had black shot on it. You'll see pictures of it pop up. The guy slammed it to the ground. But that's the one. That's the one Larry decided to buy. Rebuilt motor, here it is. Rebuilt trans, rebuilt rear. And there was some good stuff about the car. I'm not saying he overpaid for it, but give me a second. I'm an old guy. I got to catch up on my notes here. So Larry brought the car to me to get it assessed. When guys want a paint job and guys want work done to it, I want to bring it into my shop and I want to dig at it. I used to really piss guys off taking an ice pick to their car, because if you can pop an ice pick in a hole, it's got to be replaced. So Larry dropped it off here and we went through it. One quarter panel had been replaced. Driver's side quarter panel was a new quarter panel, but the passenger side was not, and it was going bad from the inside and around the wheel housing. So you'll see all the pictures coming up as I'm talking about this. So we dug into the body. We pulled the motor, we detailed the frame. Of course, it needed lower fender patches. Both fenders needed lower fender patches. There were some other things about the fenders that he needed to fix. Larry helped me through the entire thing because I had never done a 69 Chevelle in my life. So Larry was here with me on every step of this car. And actually, he did some of the work on the car. Larry's not a check writer motorhead. Larry's a motorhead that would build it, but he wanted somebody else to get the bigger stuff done, so it was easier for him to get it built. Anyway, after weeks and weeks of grinding, sanding, welding, you know, you'll see the pictures of it. We finally got her up to where we're ready for paint. We let it sit for a little while. We soaked it real good in a urethane primer, and we let it sit for a month for shrinkage. We let it sit out in the sun. So we got her wet sanded down and finally got her painted, and she came out real good. Larry's happy with it and he took her home. But in the meantime, and before Larry could get the car tagged, now Larry's a big YouTuber himself. He loves watching videos about the muscle cars and the muscle car builds. And he really enjoys watching TV shows about them getting built. I think that's what leaned him into, after we couldn't shut that lifter up, I think that's what leaned him into the LS3. Now, I was really proud that he offered me the job to do the LS3. You're going to see all the videos of us getting the LS3 in there. It was built by Hot Rod Motor Company. I'm going to do a separate video about the technical of the Hot Rod Motor Company, because I really enjoyed working with that company. And we're going to do, the other video is going to talk about the Phytech fuel injection, because I'm sure a lot of guys are going to be looking for the Phytech fuel injection system. So, but anyway, he had decided to do this LS3 build, and he bought an eBay package. So he liked that package. It looked like a good package. So of course, after weeks of delays and several months, finally the tractor trailer calls us and the package is here. So you'll see all the pictures of it. So here comes this crate with this LS3 built by Hot Rod Motor Company. A brand new 4L60 transmission. And I think the advertising on eBay was a little, maybe slightly deceiving, only because there's a lot of things that left out. There were a lot of things we had to buy for the motor. Maybe Larry knew that, maybe I didn't know that, but there were torque converter bolts, transmission bolts, motor mount bolts, water pump bolts. There was a lot of stuff. You had to pull the intake back off to put it in, and the intake wasn't torqued down. It was just setting on there, the Phytech system. But still very happy with the way the motor came and the way the motor went in the car. The motor was very easy to do. For any of you guys out there in your backyard that want to buy one of them motor packages, man, it was nothing. It was like putting a regular 350 in. Even the wiring harness. You needed a hole saw to get the wiring harness through the firewall. An L plate mounted in the glove box. We struggled with the tuning just a little bit, but overall it was a great build. The headers, and we found out later, no matter what header you buy, I've been told, you're going to dent them. We had to take them out, beat them up with a hammer, put them back in, beat them a little bit more. You know, from what I'm told, there's not many headers out there that fit perfect for that LS in there. And of course it decides on how far, whether you're moving the motor forward or backwards, because the motor mounts that you buy for replacements for that LS, it allows you to put the motor anywhere you want it. We chose to be a little bit farther forward and a little bit farther up. We used 2 motor plate spacers on each side. That gave us plenty of clearance in the steering arms. Of course, you can use your original cross member, transmission cross member. Just got to reset the holes. The drive shaft was real easy. Putting the yoke in and the drive shaft was, we didn't have to cut much out of his original drive shaft. So it all fit together real nicely. Now, he decided to go with a Dakota Digital dash. Never worked with Dakota Digital. Heard a lot of people that do them. Heard about them on the internet. I was pleased with the setup. Yes, you got to have a power probe and test out all your wires, because Dakota Digital wants certain wires in certain places, and that's fine. Wasn't no big deal. I think it very much complimented the car. Larry had already bought the bucket seats because it wasn't a bucket seat car. He had bought the bucket seats and the back seats and took them apart and freshened up the foam and pulled covers. Like I said, Larry's not, Larry can do his own jobs. And he's a mechanic himself, so he did this work too. I thought it was really cool that you get the shifter, the 4-speed shifter for the 4L60 transmission. So anyway, you're going to see in the other videos the story of Larry's passion and how it begun with his Chevelle. This was his 5th Chevelle, I believe. Might have been 4th. And I hope you guys like the way it came out. I'm very pleased with it came out. I don't build show cars. I have done a couple show cars. But it was never my goal when I started my shop years ago. I was always helping the other motorheads. Guys would come to my shop. Hey, I need this welded on. Hey, can you fix this quarter panel for me? Hey, can you change the heads or cam in this motor? I was helping other guys that were motorheads themselves, or had a car that they loved and needed little things to it that they were afraid to attempt that. I loved helping motorheads, and I love building drivers. Every car you're going to see, to me, is a driver. Whether it comes out like a show car or not, I'm going to drive it. We build drivers. So alright guys, I'm going to do separate videos for the detail shop and the exhaust shop. They'll be small clips, but these guys deserve recognition for what they did helping Larry with his car. They did a great job. The detail shop was amazing. This guy, older guy, he's been detailing cars his whole life. He had a hell of a collection of cars in there himself, getting detailed. So there'll be separate videos, and stay tuned because we have so much more to come. Getting ready to go on the road. Getting ready to got a lot of meets going on, and we're gonna start putting out all of our old stuff finally. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share. Hope you like what we're doing, and hope you enjoy how it all comes out for us. It's an adventure for us as much as it is for you. So thanks for watching.